predictions.
Yeah, it was a best of 69. But anyway, in the top left, we have from Team Mouse Control, it's the Green Terran OptimuS. In the
Yep.
top, and in the top right, from I don't think he's allied with any team, but he did get into the DSCL, of course. He's JosdeKroon, not the real JosdeKroon. In case any of you want to know, this is not red.
Nope. And yeah, it is gonna be JosdeKroon spawning there, and that is the same name as Red. And I know that the first matchup was actually hilarious because he played against Red.
Yeah, yeah, I casted that with. Was it with you or with Vart? I think it
Uh,
was with Vart.
it wasn't with me, I know that.
Okay. Yeah, I casted that game as well, and he was like all shaking and nervous in chat. He made some comment about Red's girlfriend, even though he didn't know that they'd already broken up for like several weeks, if not months, which was kind of funny. Um, yeah, so he did get to play his well, let's call it his idol, and well, I think the results were quite obvious, but it was still fun to cast.
Yeah, I think like if you take a name like that, then it's obvious that you really like and respect the player that the name belongs to. And they had a good time, I think. So that's really cool. I actually watched that game. I think it was casted on the first day of the DSCL individual league, right?
It might have been like I think I'm not sure if I casted it online or if it was with Ward. Either way, it was really fun to cast. Look, going into this game though, we see a very interesting opening already from OptimuS. He's built, he went for an early gas and then got his racks. And yeah, he's hiding one of his barracks in the bottom of his base, and well, JosdeKroon hasn't spotted it yet. So this could be a bit of an all-in from OptimuS, or at least some very heavy Reaper aggression.
Yeah, what you can do with that extra barracks is get double the Reapers. And
Hmm.
double the Reapers obviously beats one barracks Reapers. It's an easy check-up sum. On the other side, he only has gas for one Reaper, I think, right now. Yep, should be enough to start that second one when the barracks finishes, though. Reaper openings in TVT are so dominating right now. It's
Yeah.
incredible. Because it requires a lot of micro to keep them alive, yes. But they do so much damage and they're so fast.
Yeah, it's a very high risk reward strategy, which is why it's so popular amongst all the top Koreans. I was watching a game at GSL today, and I think it was Maru Prime who just managed to kill his Circ opponent on this map by placing a bunker at the top of the rampart. There, of course, was no creep and no vision, and he, just killed him up with 4 Reapers. Oh, okay. Well, apparently, it was a bit of lagging in the game, so they paused, and well, that's why you get a whole lot of text. But yeah, game's still going on. Reaper production, as you can see, the production tab is going on quite well for OptimuS now with 2 Reapers on the map. JosdeKroon only having 1.
Yep, 2 against 1, and you don't want to be in that situation. Now OptimuS is gonna give chase to JosdeKroon's Reaper, which will have 2 Reapers right now as well. But those 2 Reapers should become 4 sooner or later. Now this is where it becomes really tricky. You have to keep the health on the Reapers as high as possible, and they will regenerate after a while. It's like Protoss shields, only they regenerate a little bit faster. You do want to target down the weakest one, of course, but
Oh,
micro is
oh,
very
what's he
intense.
doing? He needs to get that Reaper up there. Anyway, yeah, he can hold this for sure. As long as you keep the high ground, you are somewhat safe as long as you could keep up your production. And you can see he's not producing any fighting units as of now. And 4 Reapers are just going to jump up the map. One is going to jump up, the other one's going to shoot down. And it looks like, yeah, OptimuS now taking the advantage. Only 2 Reapers left in the base against 1.
Yep, 2 against 1. Now there are going to be some workers being chased off the mineral line, and this is the annoying part because the Reapers are way faster than the workers, and that becomes
Oh,
really
he
hard to
gets
micro.
surrounded.
One guy gets stuck. Hellion coming out for JosdeKroon though, and that means he is in a decent position holding it off right now because Hellions are pretty good against Reapers.
Yeah, they're, well, not technically like the hard counter, but they do bonus damage to light. They're really fast. They can do area of effect damage even. So getting those Hellions out early is a very wise decision. And we see that JosdeKroon has actually held this off quite remarkably. His command center is going to finish up earlier than his opponent. So looking at the worker tab there, he's slightly ahead. So yeah, economic advantage for sure. But here we have OptimuS moving in with more Reapers, trying to get some more SCV kills.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and try and get some more SCV kills. Won't be able to though because these Hellions are 1, really good against light units, and 2, they're incredibly fast. And the way he positioned them, he can really run them any position that the Reapers jump into. So that's I think that's a win for JosdeKroon building wise. On the other side, though, OptimuS is going for heavy bioplay because he just added a lot of barracks.
Yeah. As far as Jos builds is going, we can't really say for sure because he hasn't fully committed to any tech. He's just one-on-oneing it up, even though he has built an armory, which will allow him to make fire bats, hell bats, as you can see now. And he's actually kind of moving out with these Hellions. Good decision by him because he can just take map control of these.
Yep, he's gonna go ahead and chase away those Reapers at the Salnaga Tower. And these Hellions can poke into, well, basically see everything that's going on from OptimuS right now. We'll see the Marine count is quite high if he pokes it a little bit.
Whoa, Reaper dancing with fire there. Nice focusing there from OptimuS, taking down one of the Hellions. And well, JosdeKroon sees here that he can't really do any damage, so he's probably just going to be content, maybe play a bit defensive, while he is gearing up for that Hellbat drop. Do note that he did kind of mess up that build. He made a couple of Marines instead of adding on a second reactor to his barracks, which you could then swap onto the starports. He could make two medevacs and two Hellbats at the same time and do like a double drop, which is you know, very powerful.
Yep, he's gonna go ahead and load them to Hellbats into the medevac, and that can do so much damage to an eco line. I mean, Hellbats do so much damage, they shoot fast and they hit multiple units, so it's really hard to deal with right now. If you add in the medevac drop, it's a point of discussion, but let's just say it's really good right now.
Yep. We see JosdeKroon definitely having a bit of an eco advantage. You know, he's mining a bit more heavier from his natural. His SCV count is higher. They are equal in supply though, because well, it seems like well, OptimuS is currently supply blocked and JosdeKroon just was for another second, so don't mind me. And there we have the Hellbat drop in the natural of OptimuS, actually doing a lot of damage to these SCVs, but actually not getting any. Oh, he did get 3 kills. Oh, it's going to drop again. SV stacking up a lot. No, he's not. Okay, he's going to head to the natural now.
Game resumed.
So these Hellbats really moving in on these Marines with almost no damage, and well, the medevac, as you can see, is really doing its work, healing these Hellbats as soon as they can. The bio of OptimuS here having to give chase, and well, he's just going to boost into the main and do more damage.
Yep, racking up the kills right now for JosdeKroon, and he is getting a lot of kills right now.
Oh, is he gonna drop? Why is he not dropping? Oh wow, OptimuS just being right on time there, catching that medevac before it can drop onto the stack up SCVs. So yeah, this drop being effective, not as effective. A Viking is about to pop out. Oh no, he's not making any Vikings actually, that's for...
He's going pretty heavy mech behind this. Now one thing to note, he does have a lot of idle SCVs. Notices that right now. He still has the medevac in position between the two bases. And like I said, he is getting mech, he's getting some siege tanks, getting some Vikings, and it's going to be really hard for OptimuS to break the position that JosdeKroon is in right now.
Yeah, looking at the unit stat, we see only 2 tanks up now for JosdeKroon. So, you know, with the Hellbats, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to survive a full frontal assault. But, you know, this force with medevacs for OptimuS, it is kind of looking kind of scary. If you could do just a full frontal bust at the front of the map, you know, that wall-off is not fully complete, might be able to do a lot of damage.
Yep, the medevac did get taken out, but there's already 3 Hellions being annoying as ever in the mineral line right now, and it really forces OptimuS to defend instead of attack. And the longer you stay on bio, the higher the siege tank count gets, and you don't want to run into like 5 or 6 siege tanks because everything will just blow up.
OptimuS now dropping into the main of JosdeKroon, trying to take out as much of these missile turrets and do as much damage as he can, and JosdeKroon kind of having the scramble here, sieging 1 tank, and well, big pickup here by OptimuS, but he fails the second pickup, loses the medevac, so the amount of damage not as ideal as he would have wanted.
Yeah, actually JosdeKroon spending his minerals, because when you go into mech production, you have a lot of minerals, and he's spending that not by getting orbitals, by getting a full surround of turrets around his base. It's something you don't see that often, but really hard to drop. Now on the other side we do see OptimuS taking his next base, finally getting combat shields as well, which will make those Marines a lot beefier. And he's going to go ahead and drop in once again before these missile turrets can finish.
Yeah, he's going to drop into the main and in the natural at the same time. Only 1 tank here really covering the mineral line of the natural properly. Yeah, OptimuS setting down his units, but he can't really, you know, attack into the siege tanks and Hellbats. And now we're going to go for the natural, trying to do as much damage here. Going to maybe focus these tanks. No, not really. Yeah, okay, so he's evacuated the main, now evacuated the natural with quite a lot of losses. And well, he's actually lost more workers than his opponent at this point in the game.
Yeah, the units lost is looking quite similar right now. They lost an equal amount. You have to realize that JosdeKroon also did a lot of dropping early game, of course. But the one thing that's really going well for OptimuS is that he's getting his stir base a lot earlier than his opponent. Just starting the command center right now. On the other side, I think that mech in this composition will be a lot better late game. We're gonna have to see though. 1-1 upgrades have started for OptimuS. And we see no upgrades finished yet for JosdeKroon, but the first upgrade for the mech just finished right now.
Yeah, interesting to notice that OptimuS hasn't really made a lot of Marauders. Of course, that's going to change as he's adding on 2 tech labs to the barracks that's in his main. But Marauders are really key if you want to, have a decent shot at engaging a Terran army with, with Hellbats and siege tanks, because you need to have somewhat of a beefiness in your army. Still, he's not really, going to stop this aggression. We've got another 2 medevacs in position to drop the natural. But it doesn't really look like he's really poised to do anything with it, and instead is going to poke more at the front with this small bio army, trying to cut off these Hellions, and they're going to be forced to retreat.
Yep, he still has 2 medevacs in a good position if he wants to drop. I don't think he wants to drop the natural right now, though. There's like a lot of Hellbats there and a siege tank. But
yeah, so this army from JosdeKroon, it's starting to get, kind of big in size. He's mostly focusing on Hellbat tanks, which is, with Viking support to make sure his army doesn't get dropped on with medevacs, which is really a good composition. When you get like to 170, 160 supply of that, and you pull a couple of SCVs to repair, it's just such a strong push. And actually, his own natural, his own third overall command might actually get taken down. But now we have Hellions moving without blue flame to poke at these Marines, and they are forced to retreat once again.
yeah, the one thing I'm a little bit worried about is that OptimuS might have forgotten about those 2 nearly full medevacs at the top side. That's what I always do. I make medevacs, I drop them, I'm like, okay, I'll put them here, I'll use them later, and I forget to use them all game.
I like this move by OptimuS in the bottom left, getting in an expansion. He knows that JosdeKroon is not in a million years ever going to set foot with his army, there, which is in the complete opposite direction of where he would go if he were to attack. So getting a free base like that might just be what he needs, because you really need to outproduce the Terran in TVT if he's going mech and you're going bio.
Yep, you're right on that, and also, except for the Hellions, mech is a lot slower. With bio you're very mobile. You usually get a lot of map control, because you can't let the mech get too close to your base, because then you're just going to be in a siege up situation.
Whoa, more drops going down into the main now. He's actually focusing down the armory. Doesn't get it though, and the second medevac that flew in to take it out actually got destroyed as well by the Vikings. So OptimuS, his attacks haven't really been that good, and now +2 attack finishes for the mech of JosdeKroon, making his attack, making his whole army even that much more scarier.
Yeah, it does indeed make it a lot more scary. We do see one SCV taking the long route, being transferred over to the hidden base on Star Station. You're completely right, it's a really good map to do something like that. And if you make it a planetary, it's actually hard to take down as well. We do see a huge load up in the middle of the map, and I think he might be going for some sort of doom drop right here.
Well, if you just compare the armies face to face, I think OptimuS is going to have a very hard time against JosdeKroon's, and he's going to go for that drop in the natural. And has JosdeKroon actually spotted it? I don't think so. He's going to push into the main and siege up there, but by doing that he might forfeit his main. OptimuS kind of waiting for his Ignite Afterburners to come off cooldown, and now just going to speed right into the in the main of JosdeKroon. He's actually going to lose one of the medevacs before it. Oh, it just unloads both of the Marauders, and now JosdeKroon has to make a choice. Is he going to attack or is he going to pull back? And he's going to attack.
Yep, he's going to go for it now. The reason that OptimuS went for the main base is because he wants to get those production facilities and doesn't want any reinforcement. He is going to pick off some of these right here, because a lot of the units did survive after being dropped into such a harsh situation. The Vikings will take out the medevacs though, and there are some defending forces coming on the way. It is not a base race, I think, but can OptimuS hold the army from JosdeKroon right now?
Oh, it doesn't look like it, even though the Hellbat count has been heavily dwindled, which is, against bio is somewhat of the main heads-up fighter. Meanwhile, the main of JosdeKroon has been cleared out of OptimuS' forces, and it's up to him to get rid of this siege tank count and defend properly. But his third is under siege, is natural. He can't position anything there, and dropping on top of these tanks isn't much of an option either with these Vikings in position.
Nope, he doesn't have any Vikings of himself, so it's gonna be very hard for him to do something like that. He has to wait till these guys on siege, And yeah, a huge evacuation going to the bottom side of the map. He is actually making another hidden base right there. That is going to keep him into the game for a little bit at least. He is making as many units as possible, reinforcing them in the middle of his base, and he's waiting for the ideal time to move out.
Alright, he's dropping another post. He's dropping behind his natural and actually gets scanned by JosdeKroon. He sees the medevacs. I'm assuming that's his scan, and I'm not even sure how I'm supposed to see that. So OptimuS drops a whole lot of Marauders in the map, and he might actually, just go for a surround on these tanks.
Yep, he has an army right now.
Oh, there we go.
Moving out, and here we go. The SCVs are tanking the damage. The siege tanks are sieging up on the high ground, and the rest is just rushing to their dead or the hold. And we got on hold right here, flanking from the back beautifully with those Marauders.
I'm not entirely sure if I agree with the move of pulling so many SCVs. I think he had plenty of Marauders and Marines to do that. Of course, he is technically... Well, actually, they're pretty equal in terms of bases, and well, JosdeKroon is of course ahead. So yeah, OptimuS certainly not doomed or anything, but he should have managed his economy a bit better. And currently, his mind really seems focused on the military part because he's trying to move into JosdeKroon's natural, his third base, stimming but drawing back right away.
Yep, taking one shot, deciding it's not a good point of engagement. Scans going out everywhere. It's a lovely sight as a Terran to see that going on, and this is one crazy TVT where you see that positioning is so important. It was a good hold by OptimuS, not losing all of his main base, and he's still very much in this game. It's actually quite close right now.
Yeah, it is. It seems the game is. I was going to say it's somewhat calmed down, but now we're seeing a big pickup here for OptimuS. Going to drop onto the 4th of JosdeKroon, who is absolutely out of position in order to defend this. He does lift the medevac, and the Marine count is quite low, so he will be able to save this. But yeah, a bit of an economic blow here, and JosdeKroon says, well, I'm not going to take it, I'm going to unsiege my entire army and just go on this.
Yep, he will defend this, but the thing is, he doesn't know about those hidden bases. He doesn't know that his opponent is still mining more than he is right now. Yeah,
and I like this move here by OptimuS, once again dropping and picking up, just using the mobility that the bio combined with these medevacs gives a Terran. He didn't lose all that much in that engagement there, and he managed to take out the 4th. And there's no spare command center for JosdeKroon, and instead he's probably going to lift his main orbital or something. No, he's going to reconstruct the 4th.
Yep, gonna try and remake that. Now it is a very close game. Units lost in both sides during this game, and yeah, I think that JosdeKroon right now thinks he's in a great position because he just killed that 3rd base from his opponent. He's not mining as much, but he has
the Hellions getting taken out.
These Hellions are gonna get taken out. They're not Hellbats right now. That's gonna really lower his Hellbat count.
Yeah, that's not how you want to lose these. I mean, in a straight up fight, it's just about always better to morph them into Hellbats because they just do that much more damage, they have more HP, and they will last longer in a fight. Meanwhile, as you mentioned, economy-wise, it's all really stabilized, and it's up to JosdeKroon to, expand and maybe go for another push. One decision I really like here by OptimuS is to still include tanks in his army. Actually, if I look at the production tab, he's not currently making any, but he did have quite a few around.
And it looks like JosdeKroon is sending out some Hellions, scans the base there as well, knows exactly what's going on. He's like, oh, you're hiding those bases. I'm gonna send a lot of Hellions that way. Some Marines are running the way over there as fast as possible. I do think
this might be a massacre. There's so many Hellions, and okay, there's a few Marines out here right now, but even though they don't have blue flame, they're just gonna go to town on these workers.
Yep, and on the top side we see a full-on doom drop by OptimuS, absolutely annihilating the natural expansion from JosdeKroon. Action back and forward in this map, a huge siege line in the back of this, surrounded by siege tanks at this point actually. And also a lot of workers going down at the hidden base from OptimuS.
Once again, the game sort of resets as OptimuS takes a huge economic hit, but that does manage to take out a base of JosdeKroon. Looking at the worker count, they're still pretty equal, which is something I wasn't really expecting. I was thinking like, oh, the naturals barely mined out, like what's the deal? But yeah, the one constant factor here is the high siege count of JosdeKroon, siege tank count of JosdeKroon. And if he, regards his army, he might still go for the doom push, but actually Biono moving out and he's not sieged.
Yeah, one of the things to note though, it's one siege tank against 22 siege tanks, and in a ground battle I would favor the guy with 22 siege tanks, to be honest. We're gonna see small engagement here, but these siege tanks are gonna siege up, and will force this bio back one way or the other.
Yeah, this siege tank army, you know, with 2-2 upgrades against the 2-2 bio, which is almost 3-3, it's just so strong, and you know, it's really up to OptimuS to try and delay this push for as long as possible. And well, you know, he just doesn't want to go in it.
Yep, he's gonna go ahead and push on with this siege concave line he's got. You rarely see this many siege tanks, but he's making it happen. He also has some Vikings to protect, and I don't think we've seen a single Viking from OptimuS so far, and this third base will be taken down. And he's already evacuating to the bottom side. Do you think he's actually going to use the bottom bases to rebuild his infrastructure? It looks like it right now because 3 starports on the way, but he's going to lose a lot in his main base.
Yeah, this is the correct transition. I would almost say that it's something you might have tried earlier, that you suddenly do a tech switch to air where you outproduce Vikings so you gain map control, and then use air-to-ground units such as Banshees or Battlecruisers to take out the high tank count, which would be perfect. Meanwhile, OptimuS moving in for a counterattack at the bottom of the turn while he's, you know, just completely losing his natural, might even lose his main base.
Yep, might even lose his main base. Now we do have a hit squad moving over the map by OptimuS, gonna take down this base on the side from JosdeKroon. And that's gonna hurt him as well because he's not mining that much anymore. Every base is almost mined out except for his third base, and he still has those hidden bases in the bottom going strong. Now it looks like OptimuS is regaining a little bit of forces in his main base, but these siege tanks aren't done with that yet.
Yeah, siege tanks now sieging up into the main of OptimuS, something he definitely doesn't want to have happen. Where are the Vikings actually? I've kind of lost them because they were really crucial in protecting those, those siege tanks.
Yep, now we see some Vikings from OptimuS, and he is making 3 Banshees. He knows that it's just siege tanks. He knows that he has the better Viking count right now, and he's gonna abuse that as much as possible. He is losing a lot of production facilities and supply depots.
Yeah, I do love this move from OptimuS though. I've literally won games this way in TVT after somewhat of a stalemate, and then suddenly switching to air and making Banshees and Vikings, and my opponent having almost no anti-air. Also the siege tank count of JosdeKroon, it's, you know, slowly but steadily dwindling because of him being forced to move into the siege tank line of OptimuS, taking unfavorable engagement against Marauders, which he does win. But you know, at this point in the game, he doesn't have that many left in his opponent's base.
Yep, and there's units moving across the map. If you check the mini-map, it's a total chaos right now. JosdeKroon is still at his starting position, holding strong there, but OptimuS is taking the rest of the map, it seems like. And JosdeKroon is really having a really hard time to expand, but he will take down all of this production. The remaining production facilities actually lift off, but these Banshees are taking down all of these siege tanks.
Yeah, here we go, the Banshees going to town. And this is one of those moments for a turn where you're thinking, oh crap, why, how did this happen, how did I not see this coming? And yeah, he loses the majority of his siege tank's force. OptimuS getting a good scan off at the 4th, sees the orbital drop down and the tanks and Hellbats guarding it. And this is probably going to be the main focus of the next battle.
Yeah, we've got some Thors coming out, and Thors are the ideal counter for a Banshee army, because Banshees are light and the missiles from the Thor do some extra damage against them. Plus, if they clump up, they take even more damage. But this is already 6 Banshees out though. There's gonna be a little bit of a window here where he can do if he has more Vikings. But if we go to the unit step right now, we see it's 6 Vikings against 8, and JosdeKroon learned from his mistake there, is making a lot of Vikings, and I like that.
Yep. The thing about making Vikings though is that just making Vikings isn't going to win you the game. It just prevents you from losing the game in a rather annoying manner. And now that his army is completely out of position, OptimuS is going to stim in and take out the 3rd, which is a planetary. JosdeKroon scrambling and actually manages to save it with a mass repair.
Yeah, manages to save that. Even took down 9 units with that planetary. Not a bad trade for him at all there. And this is a really tense game for these 2 players, because basically OptimuS has the better bases, has more minerals in these bases. And yeah, JosdeKroon still has the army advantage, but it's so slow. Every time he moves out, some base dies.
Yeah, and I like this timing here by JosdeKroon, because he does, even though he might not know it, he does have, you know, what it takes to win this air battle with the Thors, with the Vikings. And even though the Banshee count is getting rather massive, OptimuS does have the higher Viking count, but still, that's, you know, not just what he needs to win one game.
Yep, and OptimuS here is gonna go ahead and defend this, and I don't know if he can. Like you said, he has the ability to take out the air, and he definitely has the ability to take out the ground. So I don't think he wants to engage, but at some point he will have to engage.
It's really about those Thors, man. If he can take out the Thors, then he'll be fine. But the problem really is that the Thors have such long air range, they can kind of zone out the Vikings of his opponent. Oh, actually, the Vikings of JosdeKroon moving out of position on move command. He loses so many of them.
Yep, he lost the majority of his anti-air right there. He doesn't have Marines to shoot up, so he's gonna have to rely on those Thors and Vikings, and he doesn't have a lot of Vikings left.
No, oh, this was such a huge blunder by him. You know, he had everything he needed to win the air battle, including the Thors. For some reason, OptimuS is actually doing a wraparound and going all the way back to the top, leaving his, his economy completely undefended. I'm not quite sure what the decision-making reason behind this is. But yeah, we now have the siege tanks and the Hellbats and Thors moving into these bases into the bottom left, and well, it seems like OptimuS is going to go for a trade. But is this the right decision? There's so many tanks and Thors already waiting there for him.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a discussion we can have.
Oh, so much
these
damage!
Banshees taking so much damage! Oh, and 4 of them get taken out immediately.
Oh my god, OptimuS throwing his army against this planetary in a completely unnecessary engagement. Drops the Vikings and they just get smashed by this planetary. His Banshee count dropping like there's nothing. And there we go, GG. OptimuS does lose that game, and JosdeKroon with the mech play does